Hi everybody, welcome to another video. You're back. I'm happy that you're back. For those of you guys that are new to the channel, hello, welcome. My name is Dr. Elise Tercy, and on this channel we talk about everything holistic health and wellness related. I practice functional medicine here in New York, and for those that are back, you know the deal. You already know what's going on here. So today's topic is actually going to be something that is maybe a little of a touchy subject. You guys know I like to be truthful and honest about things that come up in the practice, and I really want to support you. And so sometimes awareness around this stuff is very helpful so that we can say, oh, I kind of get why I'm doing what I'm doing. So today's topic is being addicted to carbohydrates and sugar and dealing with weight issues. And I wanted to talk about this because we're really in the season of weight loss. I know that right now in my practice, everybody is coming in asking for guidance and support and help with trying to lose weight, shed body fat, maybe just change the body composition. And it is often a struggle for people to be able to do that or to stick with the goals. And I want to talk a little bit about the science behind why it's such a struggle to lose weight and stick with it. Because the reality of it is that it's not about knowledge, right? I think that a lot of people sometimes think the reason I can't lose weight is because I don't know what to eat. The reason I can't lose weight is because I'm not sure what to do. And I kind of disagree with that. I feel like we're in the society or in a culture where education and knowledge is so available to us. It's so available to us. You can hop on Google and type in what kind of foods can I eat for weight loss. And I do understand it gets very clinical and nitty gritty, but you have to start somewhere. So I don't think that it's a knowledge thing or it's about knowing what to eat or not to eat. Everybody knows that. What I want to talk about today is the science behind the psychology that drives people to be in the space of feeling like they need to eat these foods. Or maybe they're saying, I find myself sabotaging my goal. I find myself creating a food goal and not sticking with the goal. I find myself every Monday waking up with intentions to eat well, and by the end of the day that's disrupted, or come Friday night I end up binging on sugar. Why do we do that as humans? Like, why is it that we set an intention and we don't honor that? Is it just because we're weak and have no willpower? No, that's not the case. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the psychology behind food, and hopefully this helps you to understand and be a little bit more compassionate as to why you are not able to achieve the goal. So stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about the psychosocial component of food, which means how does food affect me? One of the things I find that patients share with me is a phrase or a statement where they say, I'm an emotional eater. I eat when I'm stressed. I eat when I'm frustrated. I emotionally eat. I know that about myself. That's what they share with me. And there is a lot to unpack there, right? So anxiety is actually the number one common energetic emotion that leads people to actually indulge in things that they know that they shouldn't. And that could be food, and also obviously alcohol and other things. But we're going to just talk today for the sake of just making it simple and clear about nutrition and food. Anxiety. So I was thinking about what is the primary emotion that people experience that leads them to eat something, or to say, I want the cookie, or I want the donut, or I want the froyo, or I want the pizza. It's anxiety. Anxiety is the number one most common emotion. The number two common themes or emotional states that we actually act on that lead us to the food is kind of interesting, but shame and self-worth are the other themes that when you look this stuff up in the research and even just connecting with people and asking them, those are like the three primary things that people struggle with. Is they feel anxious, and then food, they're using food as a tool to calm down the nervous system. And paradoxically, it works in the short duration, and I'll share with you why, the science behind why, but it actually hurts you in the future. So in the moment of stress, right? I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm feeling revved up, I feel a little irrational or maybe moody, and I take it out on food. I have that bite of that Boston cream donut, and I'm just like, we actually can feel that release. I really encourage you that if you've ever felt revved up and you have that bite, and you guys know this, right? You have that first bite of something or that first piece of something, it's like an instant release. It's like, whew, that felt good. In the short duration, food actually can help to lower irritability, and it relieves anxiety through giving you dopamine hits. Now, dopamine is a neurotransmitter that's part of the pleasure center and like reward, motivation, kind of similar to serotonin, but it actually creates a burst of dopamine. So for example, when someone eats chocolate, even a little bit of chocolate, it actually stimulates up to a 50% increase in dopamine in the brain. So the neurotransmitters get activated and we feel really good, right? Like, oh, that feels so good. I'm so happy. And then what happens is the shame comes. The shame spiral comes of, oh, why did I do that? I said I wasn't going to do that. Why did I eat that way? I promised myself I wouldn't do that. And then we lose trust in self. And that's the spiral that we get addicted to. So over time, though, we require more and more and more dopamine, which is why we end up eating more and more and more, and we eat more crappy foods with time. That one donut turns into two. That one piece of chocolate after dessert turns into two pieces. Why? Because we actually are affecting how much dopamine it takes to reach a threshold. So I eat the chocolate, my dopamine goes up by 50%. Now those receptors that are looking for dopamine are out. So it requires more dopamine to satisfy those receptors, because as I eat the sugar, I get more dopamine receptors that need to be filled. It's kind of like tolerance to alcohol. That's kind of the analogy I could describe is, why do you need 2 drinks to feel that feeling of, oh, I'm feeling something different here with my mood? Why do you need 3 drinks after you've done the 2? You build tolerance, right? That's what's happening. That same concept is happening with dopamine, is that there's a little bit of a tolerance building up, that now you require more chocolate and more sugar to get that same hit, that same feeling. So it's very addictive. Now, there are certain constituents in foods like this, like anandamide, that are natural opioids. So sugary things are addictive. And I tell everyone this, it has nothing to do with willpower. You are not a weak person. You are not. But you are a person that is energetically using this thing, food, as a tool to self-regulate an emotional state. So my invitation is, if you're struggling with dieting and you think it's about the food, we've got to look at anxiety support. We've got to look at working on regrooving neural patterns or creating neuroplasticity, where when you feel that urge, what else do you do instead? Right? Because all we've been grooving is, I'm anxious and I go to the donut. We're Pavlov's dog, right? Pavlov's dogs, we're humans. We run engrams, we run patterns, we run loops. So we do the same thing, right? It's like, if you watched us, if somebody recorded us, we would be doing the same things. Like humans are, we roll out of bed the same side, we roll to the same side, we grab our phones, we do the same thing over and over and over. We're conditioned. We're animals that are conditioned. We like that to some degree. It's structure. And we have to learn to uncondition that loop. How many times do you hear people telling you that if you want to lose weight, you have to uncondition the loop of the system? Never. They tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Now, is it true that when you change the diet, you change the system? Yes, but you want to do both together. So anti-anxiety support, there's things that you could take to boost dopamine naturally, because sometimes people are using food because they are low on dopamine to begin with. So that makes them feel better. So that raises their neurotransmitter. They feel good from that. Sometimes there's low dopamine to begin with. That's why they're reaching for food. So I'm here to tell you today in this little baby short video that if you're trying to lose weight or change your body composition, we need to explore why you're sabotaging. We need to understand the emotional drivers or the psychosocial factors behind why you're looking at food. And my thought is, before you eat, check in with your body about how you feel. Oh, I'm looking at my donut. That's going to be my next meal. How am I feeling? I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling kind of like nauseous. I'm feeling worried. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about the next thing that has to be done. You're probably not present. You're in the future or in the past. And that's where the anxiety comes. So there's always a awareness that I like to bring to, how do you feel before you eat? Tell me about that. What happens for you in your body? What happens after the meal? We have to work on some of those kind of primitive normal reactions that I wouldn't even call reactions. They're just, or maybe they are reactions, they're not really responses. That is something that I always work with my patients when it comes to food, is what's emotionally going on before you took that bite or before that binge happened. What was the state of mind? What happened in your day? What phone call did you have to take? Really getting in tune, because once you're aware of it, you're able to say, oh, this is just anxiety I'm feeling. Is there something else I could reach for instead? Maybe a hot cup of tea, right? The warmth of the tea. I like to tell my patients and give them some support around what else could I do in this moment. So that's really what I wanted to talk with you guys about, is it's not a willpower thing and it's not an education thing. You're stuck because you are running a pattern that's based off an emotional state. So we got to get into what that emotional state is and how to rewire that brain chemistry to get you to your goals. It has nothing to do with not knowing what to eat. It has little to do, I should say, with not knowing what to eat, and little to do with willpower. Willpower fails 100% of the time when you're hungry because you go primitive. Your brain goes offline. So that is the video for today. I just want to encourage you guys to really get conscious and clear around what was my state before I did the pizza, or I called for the this, or I stopped by and picked up Wendy's and the French fries. What was that emotional state of being? What happened? We got to get clear on that stuff. So I hope that was helpful. And I'm going to be changing the format of the videos. I'm standing, which I never stand in my videos, but I like it. And they're going to be quicker. I want to get on here a little bit more often so that I can help guide you guys and maybe do like Q&As. We've been doing a ton of Q&As on my Instagram. If you guys are following me there, I'm myself on all platforms, Dr. Elise Tercy on all platforms. But we've been doing a lot of Q&As, and so I'm hoping to bring that to YouTube as well. If you like this, please subscribe. Subscribe now. Press the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up so I know that you like this, so I can come on and keep making content like this. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.